Hey guys, this is my review for season 2 of Primal, and like the prior season, it was fantastic. The difference between this season and the last season, though, is quite evident as Spear and Fan, in their pursuit of Mira, encounter other human civilizations. So, if the first season is very much Edgar Rice Burroughs' man against nature, the second season is more Robert E. Howard, where a kind of barbarian character has to contend with these kind of ancient civilizations. And it's essentially the same with Spear and Fan. In their pursuit for Mira, they encounter the likes of Vikings, a Egyptian princess who seems to enslave any human she comes by, a race of giants, and a whole palitter of human characters, which is obviously a big change from the prior season, which mainly focused on Spear and Fan having to fight other dinosaurs and prehistoric aberrations. The season itself is incredibly well paced. There is a bit of a deviation in the middle where we actually fast forward to London in the 1800s and meet with Charles Darwin and a bunch of aristocrats to discuss what it means to survive. And I think Genndy Tartakovsky made this episode in order to justify Spear and Fan's actions in the prior episode. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of it, but they are kind of put into a situation where their back is against a wall and they have to dispatch humans, even though some of the said humans are children. So that does kind of bring a moral question: what is it to survive, and how far can you go? New characters. Mira is obviously expanded upon. We got to see her in the last season, the last episode. She is obviously of some kind of Syrian descent, and she is very compassionate, very loving, very caring, and she understands that both Spear and Fan have gone out of their way to rescue her, and as a result, she tries to protect them as best she can. There is some other characters. There is a father and son Viking who decide to go on a campaign of revenge against Spear and Fan, and there's an entire episode dedicated to them, and it's very interesting. Again, it makes you wonder: are Spear and Fan technically the heroes? Like, do you root for them despite the fact that they murdered these two Vikings family members? And it kind of requires you to watch the Darwin episode and kind of realize it's a matter of survival. Another character is the Egyptian queen or princess, I don't know. She is head of this massive kind of galleon called the Colossus, who enslaves different races for money, wealth, power, and essentially attacks other civilizations. She goes from place to place, and Spear and Fan are kind of coerced into fighting for her, and it's an interesting dynamic that Spear and Fan are kind of like, they have to do what they usually do, but instead of doing it to survive, they have to do it to conquer for this queen. And she does have a kind of trump card over them, and I'm not going to get into it. I don't want to spoil it, but it's interesting to see Spear and Fan not just contend with animals anymore, but armies, legions of men with spears and swords and bows and arrows, and even elephants. You have Fang having to take out these kind of war elephants. But it is an incredibly cool season. As I said before, this is more something conducive to Conan the Barbarian than, say, Tarzan or The Lost World. It's a fitting end to the series. The show does end. The series does end uh, with a very kind of uh, bittersweet nod or ending. As I'm not gonna divulge what happens, but something that Spear and Fan do earlier on in the season kind of comes back and bites them on the ass, and it does. have major ramifications for the characters. But if you haven't seen the first season, I implore you check it out and then go watch this. Genndy Tartakovsky has knocked it out of the park. It is an amazing series. It is a fantastic series. The animation is gorgeous. I In the first episode of season 2, you have Spear and Fan adrift in the ocean. They're looking for Mira, and some of the way the scenes are done, you have like it's essentially the characters may as well be in outer space because the environment is so alien to them. Their reactions to the whales, their noises and sounds, and certain creatures, and certain kind of marine creatures that glow in the middle of the night. It makes a fantastic vista of images and really lends itself to the show. But again, guys, check out Primal. Check out the first season, then check this out. It is fantastic. I don't know if we're going to get a season 2. We are kind of given, Tartakovsky has kind of given a kind of a scenario where there can be a season 2, but I don't know what I want one. I don't know if we need a season 2, because this ends on such a beautiful note, and it's a great series. And again, check it out. Check out Primal if you haven't, and you are a fan of animation. If you're a fan of pulp kind of serials or pulp novels like Conan the Barbarian or Tarzan, check this show out. It absolutely kicks arse, and yeah, more people need to see it. So have you seen Primal? If you have, let me know. And which was your favorite season 1 or season 2? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, have a good one. Take care. Bye now.